Have you ever wanted to build your own loading dock out of fencing materials? Yeah, it's possible. That's what we're gonna do today. Can we build it? Yes, we can. So most of you probably go down to the lumber yard and, buy some 2x6s, 2x12s, but we're a fencing company. We got a lot of these just, hanging out, so we're gonna use them. And we're gonna put them every 4 feet so that way we don't have a lot of blowout. This is gonna be a dual height loading dock. This side is gonna be for standard height semi-trailers. This side right here is gonna be for step decks. So it's gonna be 38 inches tall, when this one's gonna be 54. I don't lay around all the time, but when I do, it's because I'm not working. So this is our poplar. This is what we're gonna use for our infill. We're gonna stack these really tight with no air gap so that way the soil isn't gonna seep out in between the boards. We have zero interest in using a massive amount of concrete to set these posts. We're going to use our fancy schmancy Bryce Suma PowerShift post driver. We freaking love this thing. Not gonna lie, these rock spikes and hole pounders are heavy. Yes, this part of the process does take a little while, but it's not like digging and setting in concrete is an instantaneous process either. And this way, there's no concrete to wait on when you're done. So I know what you're thinking. Man, that guy is he's taking a long time to get those posts in the ground. It shouldn't be taking that much time. We're fighting a couple things. Number one, it's wintertime, the ground's frozen. I don't know how frozen it is or with the depth of the frost. Right now, I'm gonna say it's probably somewhere around 18 inches. And then number two, we are doing this on the worst part of our whole entire yard. This is the kind of stuff we're going through. I'm actually really impressed that this thing has as much power as it does. I've used it a little bit before, but I've never gotten to really use it a lot. This thing is a powerhouse. All the posts are in. We had a hard time getting all the posts in. One, the ground is frozen. Two, there's a lot of rock in the ground. The posts were walking all over the place. Even though we used the rock spike, it did offer some difficulty, but hey, we overcame it, we accomplished. There's some curvature of it, I'm not gonna lie, but it's not a fence, it's a dock. This guy right here, that is one heck of a knocker. You've heard me say it before. Obviously the pressure side is on the inside where all the fill is gonna go that we're gonna use as a ramp. Here is where it's gonna get really confusing. All these boards, they're gonna go on the outside. And they're gonna go on the outside because the semi-trailers need a flat face to back up to so that we're not creating a gap. If we have any issues with any blowouts, we could always install some lower posts. This is gonna be a dual height loading dock. This side is gonna be 38 inches tall, where that side is gonna be 54 inches tall. When I was talking about running into some issues yesterday, this is some of the issue we were running into, some of the blowout. This is gonna be the top of our dock, so all this will get thrown away. We'll have just a tiny piece that's exposed. So we're still able to use that post. Unfortunately, it did crack out on the top. And then like this guy completely shelled out on the top. It's not gonna be a worry at all because the top of that post is gonna be right around here. So all this is something we're not going to use. Driving posts in the wintertime and hitting a rock or hitting frozen ground, sometimes you do risk this. Obviously with the Bryce, we have Jacques handicap, and we just didn't have the right size handicap to fit these diameter posts because we chose to go with a bigger, heavier post for the dock. So that's just a traditional 3-inch screw. We could probably use these for attaching the boards. Just look at how kind of puny they are. We're going to use a 4-inch CTX screw, which is bam, it's like whoo, it's a construction lag screw. So now this guy, it's going to be ideal for, your cedar fence, something like that, framing, building house, decks. And this guy, it's even bigger. The threads are extremely aggressive. and it's got a nice big fat pancake head on it. So these are what we're using for attaching the boards.
If you want to run center stays.
Center stays? That's not a bad idea. Just a full board center stay?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe you're wondering why we put these on, and this is a stay just as like you'd use on a horizontal cedar fence. It's gonna keep the boards from spreading apart, and it's just gonna even the pressure between whatever's pushing against it. It's gonna push against all boards equally, and in theory, it's gonna equal out the pressure, so it's not just on one board, it's on all boards, and we're not gonna have a blowout. How straight is this board? Has it got a nasty curve or pretty good? Okay.
Planning the drop on the side of our ramp proved to be a little more difficult than maybe it should have been for a group of professionals.
Level to here, which is going to be 38.
Okay.
And then step up to the top however you need to.
So you do want to go from top down here, or you want to go bottom up?
I prefer to go top down anyhow, because your dirt's going to slough out the bottom anyhow.
Exactly. Where are we cutting it at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here?
That's what I would do. And then step it one board down in between those two and another board to that post, and then half one board, yeah. To get us to 0 at the end, and that's 10 boards hauling. If you went one step at each post, you'd be 30 inches at that end, which is kind of too high.
Fine. Oh, the drama.
With our math all figured out, we started laying out the drop on the side to follow the angle of the ramp. At least, we thought we had it figured out.
It's 10 posts.
So we should have dropped one board per post. So it's gonna be just a little bit hoopity hoop right here.
Well, you just got to cut it at each post and just...
We could just run a stay right there and then run a scab board over if we wanted to. It'd be right. We were thinking, hey, we should drop like 2 boards per post. So we'll drop half a board here, next board at the post, half a board in the section, next board at the post. So that's where we are. We could have just dropped 1 board per post. We didn't know that then. We know that now. Yeah, it's old news. That's all right. It's all right. It's not going to matter that much. It just means that maybe we'll be a little bit steeper on the ramp. But from here on out, we're going to keep dropping 1 board per post.
There, which we weren't supposed to start dropping until right there. So it was going to be 5 posts, which was 2 boards per post.
Oh, so we dropped early.
You dropped 1 post early.
I dropped 1 post too soon. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's not that big of a deal. It just means that we're going to be a little bit steeper. And right here, it's going to be nice and gradual. So as we continue doing this side, we'll finish this side out, and then we're going to do the center side right where Andrew is. And that's only going to be a few boards high because it needs to contain all the dirt from spilling over into this lower dock. That's the tall side. This is going to be the short dock. Okay, next one.
And yes, this is us building an additional wall on the inside at the front. Not everyone on the team felt like the outer wall was going to be sufficient. And now, finally, the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to bring in the dirt. Yeah, baby. At least on this side, for now.
All right, that took a lot more dirt than I thought it was gonna take to fill this side. And actually, the posts, they're fairly straight. They're not bad. There's a lot of pressure on it, just as we said there was gonna be. As soon as I finish this other side tomorrow, we're gonna fill that side up. We're gonna see you then.
The guys finished framing up the other side before I got here, so all we have left to do is get the dirt in, get it graded, and get it packed down.
That took a lot of fill. We got this one filled last night, we got this one filled this morning, and then the guys finished putting the poplar on it. In the very beginning, it looked pretty rough. The posts were kind of going every which way. That really doesn't matter because you can't even see them anymore. Barely. This is the pressure side, so all the dirt's pushing against this way, and it's trying to push it out. And originally, in the very beginning of the video, I said we were just gonna do this front face. Well, we had some more opinions throughout the team. No arguments, nobody died. It was close. It was touch and go there for a little bit, but everybody survived. So we ended up doing a wall here on the inside, so we ended up facing the inside, so that way it's pushing against that, and it's relieving a lot of the pressure off of this, so it's not trying to push them off of the posts. So there's two walls against this face. You can kind of see what kind of rock is in there, and this is also the same rock that came out of this ground. Give us a little bit of a break when you're like, oh, those posts are just a little. That's what we ended up going through. But like I said, again, it's just a dock. It's not a fence. If it was a fence, it'd be 100% straight, but it's a dock. Since it's a dual height, everything is the same elevation coming up this way. This is the lower side. This is the higher side. Ideally, we could have either semi-trailer docked here at any given point in time. If you're in need of a loading dock and you're wanting to build one yourself, I really hope this video helps you. And it's another way that we use fencing materials to make something else that is not a fence, but it is a fence. As Stan with SWI, we are Wyoming's Fence and Gate Company, and we hope you have a good dang day.